Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fireside Giants. I'm your host for today, Anthony Rivardo. Some of you may know me from the Fireside Giants podcast that I do with my co-hosts Alex Wilson and Mike Too Nice here on this YouTube channel, but this is my first of many solo videos on the channel, so be sure to subscribe for plenty of great content from the three of us and tune into our podcast. Also, be sure to check out my articles covering the Giants on EmpireSportsMedia.com and follow me on Twitter at Anthony_Rivardo. Links will be in the description as well. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Today I will be doing ESM's first draft/scouting profile, and this one will be on Clemson linebacker Isaiah Simmons. All of you, I'm sure, have heard of Isaiah Simmons. There's a really great chance he ends up being the number 4 overall pick, but there might be some fans who don't exactly know who Isaiah Simmons is as a player, and so I'm here to break it down for you, so let's get into it. So before I get into Isaiah Simmons' top strengths and weaknesses, I will list my grades on Isaiah's traits and skills after watching and taking notes on hours of Isaiah's game tape. So I used an NFL scouting rubric created by John Chapman, which is at JL_Chapman on Twitter, and on his website, eatsleepfantasy.com. You can find his NFL draft scouting rubric for every position on the football field, and according to him, he used Bill Walsh's scouting notes and took what he looked for when breaking down NFL draft prospects and just changed it slightly to adapt to the modern game. So the grades that I gave for Isaiah Simmons were very strong. I gave him a 9 in play recognition, a 7 in his ability to cut through traffic, a 9 in his effort and motor, a 9 for being a consistent tackler, a 10 for his speed to get to the sideline, a 7 for being an effective blitzer, and an 8 for his coverage ability, with an overall grade, which is an average of all of the grades I just listed, of 8.4. As can be seen from these grades, Simmons is an elite athlete with high football IQ. However, he does have some work to do as a true linebacker and could afford to put on a bit more size to help with his strength and ability to fight through contact. Now, let's discuss Isaiah Simmons' top strengths. So by now you might be wondering, how did I come up with the grades for Isaiah's skills and traits? And you might think that I just pulled random numbers out of a hat, but I didn't. I watched hours of game tape for Isaiah Simmons, took notes on all of it, and then assessed each game, every single game, gave him a grade for those attributes, put all of the grades together per season, and then put all of those grades together for an overall grade, and he has a very strong overall grade of 8.4. So now we're going to look at all that game tape that I watched and took notes on, and I'm going to show it to you guys, and I'm going to explain how I got to these grades, and we're going to discuss Isaiah Simmons' top strengths and his top weaknesses using film breakdowns. Isaiah Simmons' top strength by far is his ability to make plays in coverage. So against Notre Dame in 2018, here we can find Isaiah Simmons lined up at slot cornerback on 3rd and 3. So it's a short yardage situation, and this is his man right here. So Notre Dame runs a nice pick concept to get this man open in the flat. Isaiah Simmons is behind him by about 4 yards there, but has the closeout speed to completely shut this play down. See, Simmons does an excellent job of getting underneath this route, giving the quarterback nowhere to go with the football. On the very next play, we can find Isaiah Simmons once again playing slot cornerback. This time he's lined up against Miles Boykin, who is now an NFL wide receiver who plays for the Baltimore Ravens. He's a big, tall receiver at 6'4", and you're going to see it's 4th and 3, so once again, got to make a stop here. It could be a big turnover on downs. So off the bat, you're going to see Miles Boykin has a very clean release off the line, and that's definitely somewhere on this play that we can find room for improvement for Isaiah Simmons. He could get those hands up a lot faster because they don't go up at all until right here, 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, and Boykin does a great job of fighting his hands off. You can see they're kind of holding hands there. But Simmons should get his hands on there sooner, jam him at the line of scrimmage, and not give him such a free release. But this is a positive play. There's a great pass rush, so the quarterback kind of just has to throw it up. But Simmons, it looked like he was beat based on that initial start to the play. It looks like he's beat here. The quarterback sees that, knows he's got to get rid of it, and sees, yeah, the receiver's probably going to get past him here. But he obviously doesn't realize that Isaiah Simmons has the speed to keep up with this receiver, and he goes stride for stride with Miles Boykin down the field and breaks up that pass with ease. He leaps over him, uses his long arms, and breaks up the pass. So the next play we're going to look at is from the same Notre Dame game, and once again you're going to find Isaiah Simmons here in man coverage, and Notre Dame is going to run a trick play here. They're going to hand it off to the running back, then they're going to run a reverse, and then it's going to end up back to the quarterback, and it should have been a busted coverage and it should have been a touchdown, but Isaiah Simmons had outstanding play recognition here to shut it all down in man coverage. So you'll see here the quarterback has nowhere to go with the ball, so he has to throw it away. And then you can see Simmons was right over there in coverage. So there's Simmons sticking with his man the entire way and giving the quarterback zero options to throw to. You can see at first he thinks that this is going to be a reverse. He started to pursue that way, but he kept his eyes on the football, and he noticed that the quarterback ended up back with the ball, and he stuck with his man in coverage and ultimately saved what could have been a touchdown. So here's another play which might not be a play in coverage by Isaiah Simmons, but I just quickly want to point this one out. It's from the same Notre Dame game, and it just shows Isaiah Simmons has such a high football IQ and he's such a smart player. So this play by Notre Dame gets blown up immediately, and the quarterback ends up flipping it to the running back. And Isaiah Simmons sees it the whole way and makes a huge tackle for loss about 5 yards in the backfield. So here's another play from Isaiah Simmons in man coverage. This one is against Virginia in 2019. And you're going to see Simmons is lined up out wide at the top of the screen, playing outside cornerback here. And you're going to see something else that we pointed. Yeah, you're going to see he got toasted right off the line. We pointed that out a few plays ago. So he got toasted there. He did have safety help to help him, but what I want to point out on this play is the insane speed and athleticism that Simmons had to make up all the ground and get there and break up this pass. I know on that replay it kind of looked like pass interference, but you'll see right here he actually ends up hitting the ball with his hand first before running into the receiver afterwards. So not pass interference. Not the best snap for him in coverage. Yeah, he's out wide and they bring him in. And yeah, he completely whiffs on this press coverage attempt. And then he runs into his own teammate. But you're going to see the separation that this receiver has. And Simmons just, I don't know how he does it, but he catches up. You can see he closes in, catches up, and he gets there. The ball, maybe it was a bit underthrown, but Simmons has phenomenal speed from the linebacker position, 4.39 second 40-yard dash, and it's on display right there. So here's another play. This one is from a new game. This is against Ohio State in the college football semifinal, as you can see right there. And Simmons is lined up right here. He's playing cornerback on this play. And the ball isn't going to go Simmons' way this time. He's not going to make a pass breakup, but that's actually a good thing because he completely blankets his man. In man coverage again, you're going to see they're trying to complete a goal line stand on third down. He's guarding the tight end, and he gives him nowhere to go. Gives the quarterback absolutely no way to throw into the tight end there. Stays with him at the top of the route. Breaks as soon as he does. He's on his hip the entire time. The quarterback starts to scramble the other way. He recognizes it and instantly is just right back on the tight end again. So this next play is actually not going to be much of a highlight at all for Clemson or Isaiah Simmons. It's going to be a huge touchdown run, almost 70 yards by J.K. Dobbins of Ohio State University, but it's going to be worth watching this play for Isaiah Simmons. As you'll see in a second, he's going to show off absolutely ridiculous speed. This is a linebacker. He was lined up at slot cornerback here, but J.K. Dobbins is a fast man, and Isaiah Simmons nearly caught up to him. So you'll see Simmons is at the line of scrimmage when Dobbins is 5 yards ahead of him. He gains a lot of ground on him, and no one else even comes close. You've got 3 Clemson defenders trailing behind Isaiah Simmons, and these are defensive backs who are trailing. Simmons is a linebacker. That kind of speed and ability from the linebacker position is almost unheard of. So this next play is actually one of Isaiah Simmons' most impressive plays he ever made, and you're going to see he's playing deep zone coverage here from the safety position. Ignore this red circle because that's not Isaiah Simmons. This was a mistake by the original video. Simmons is somewhere deep down here in the middle of the field between the 2 hashes, and he's playing deep zone coverage, and he's going to get an interception here. I'm sure many of you have seen this play, but you've got to look at it again because you can just see unreal athleticism and coverage ability from a linebacker. So he ends up zooming all the way down there and making the pick, and you're going to see on replay a much better angle at this. So he's standing in the middle of the field about even with the goalpost, which is about 25 yards from the sideline. And as soon as the ball is snapped, Simmons moves and he gets to the sideline instantly and picks that ball off. I mean, that throw had no chance with Simmons just lurking on it. That's that 4.39 speed showing up again. So here's one more coverage play from Clemson versus Ohio State, and this one's not going to be a positive. This is actually a play where Simmons got beat in coverage, and something I notice is, and this is probably a scheme thing, sometimes he lines up a little too far off the line of scrimmage on his man, and we already noted earlier that sometimes he doesn't do the best job of jamming the receiver at the line of scrimmage, and you're going to see on this play he's going up against KJ Hill, who's a very talented receiver. He's probably going to be a 3rd-round pick in this year's draft. Hill is going to run an in route, and Simmons has the closeout speed to get there, but he's not able to jar the ball loose. And the issue here really is that Simmons just gave him way too much room. When KJ made that cut, Simmons was not able to get on it like he usually does against tight ends and such. So I would probably say in the NFL there's not going to be too many situations where he's left one-on-one with a very talented slot receiver, but if there is, he's definitely going to have to do a better job and not give so much space to the slot receiver coming out of the break. So as amazing as Isaiah Simmons is in man coverage, he does leave a little bit to be desired in zone coverage. You'll see him lined up right here, and on this play, he's going to look like he just gets lost. I mean, he just kind of sits there in the zone coverage, and the receiver's right behind him, right next to him, and he just lets him get behind him. You could see it right there before he leaves the screen, and he just lets the receiver sit down open in the zone like he has no peripheral vision and can't see that there's a receiver behind him. You can see he's standing here, and he doesn't even notice that receiver gets right behind him. And this is a bit of a recurring theme in Isaiah Simmons's game film that you'll see, and I'll pull up a few more plays and show you that he does leave a bit to be desired in zone coverage, like I said. So this next play is from Clemson's 2018 matchup against Duke. Yep, that's our boy right there, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, the franchise. And here's the guy that we're scouting, Isaiah Simmons right here. And once again, Clemson's defense is in zone coverage, and Daniel's going to throw a laser into Isaiah's zone, and he's going to get a huge play out of it because Isaiah Simmons just doesn't cover the right man. He gets a little confused by that bunch formation, and he lets number 80 run free down the field. You'll see he's got 2 receivers on him, and he forgets about this 3rd guy who goes down there, runs right up the seam. And you can see cornerback A.J. Terrell right here. His responsibility clearly is the flat. This running back right here is his responsibility, and anyone else who's in the flat. So Simmons' responsibility was the sideline or the middle portion of the field right over there, but he let number 80 just run free, and Daniel makes a great throw, like always. and he exploits Isaiah Simmons' zone. So this is just another play, and I'll pull up more where we're going to see that Simmons does struggle at times in zone coverage. So this next play is from a new game. It's Clemson versus Georgia Tech. I don't think we've broken down any film from this one just yet. And once again, it's going to be Isaiah Simmons playing zone coverage. He's going to be lined up at slot cornerback. And this is a 2019 matchup, by the way. And you're going to see Simmons. Initially, he does an okay job. He gets to the zone. But once again, the peripheral vision just seems to be lacking. You've got the quarterback back here who's ready to make this throw. And Simmons just backpedals and lets the receiver get right in front of him. And it's an easy first down. He just loses him in his peripheral vision. Doesn't realize that there's a receiver in the area, and he's got to realize that. I mean, as amazing as he is in man coverage, and his athletic ability has a lot to do with that, this is not an athletic thing. This is just full football IQ thing. You've got to have awareness of what's going on around you at all times, and sometimes it looks like he has a little lapse in awareness and doesn't realize what's going around him and lets these receivers just sit down in his zone and get open. So this is maybe Isaiah Simmons' ugliest play that I saw watching his game film. This is from Clemson's 2018 matchup with Texas A&M, and as you can see, it's the fourth quarter, 2 minutes 22 seconds left. Clemson's up by 8, and it's 3rd and 8. Texas A&M obviously has the ball here, and Isaiah Simmons, once again, he's lined up slot cornerback, but he's going to be playing zone coverage defense here, and once again, he's just going to get lost and completely lose his man. So, I mean, this was a great concept by Texas A&M's offense. This was a great way to get a player open, but nevertheless, Isaiah Simmons was sitting there looking at all of this field when there's just nothing going on over here. He didn't realize what was going on around him. He had 2 receivers running routes next to him, and he didn't notice it. And then he follows it up with such a poor tackle angle and attempt, and Texas A&M's able to get all the way down to the 1-yard line. So I'll roll it back one more time. You'll see. So you'll see Simmons right here. These are his men. There's nobody down and around here to look at. Clemson brought the house, and Texas A&M max protected, so they've only got 3 receivers running routes. Simmons has to at least cover one of those receivers, and he just sits down in this zone and does nothing. And then right here, like I said, he turns around, runs into his man, doesn't end up getting his guy, and Texas A&M down to the 1-yard line. A really, really ugly play, and like I said, Simmons just needs to work on peripheral vision and zone coverage mainly, and just having the awareness to recognize when there's somebody sitting down in his zone, and when there is, he's got to either tackle him immediately or break that pass up, because we've seen him do it in man coverage plenty of times, and he's excellent in man coverage, like I said, but in zone coverage, he does leave a lot to be desired. So before any of you try to roast me and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not a real draft analyst or scout, and therefore my critiques on Isaiah Simmons' games are invalid, because I just discussed, I see a lot of flaws in his zone coverage ability. I'm going to reference the Draft Network, which is about as credible as it gets. These guys, they all watch hours and hours of game film on every single player with the All-22, and unfortunately, I don't have access to that, but I'm trying my best, trying to get some great content out for you guys on Fireside Giants. And so we'll go to Kyle Krabs of the Draft Network, who's one of their best guys, and he obviously has a scouting profile on Isaiah Simmons. All of them do. And if you go down the coverage skills, you can see right here he says peripheral vision can miss opportunities to sink and jump throws. And if you go down to his best trait, it's versatility, which we're about to get into, but his worst trait is zone coverage anticipation. And I agree with that. Like I said in my original article, I was going to be using different credible sources to cross-check and cross-reference myself, sources such as NFL.com, PFF, the Draft Network, and I'm going to intertwine that with my own analysis and using the experts to cross-check, cross-reference, confirm or deny what I see on the film, since I did watch hours of film, and I don't want to be completely blatantly wrong about anything, so I'm just going to show this so I have some proof to back it up that I'm not the only one who sees this flaw in Isaiah Simmons' game. Okay, so the next top strength for Isaiah Simmons that we're about to get into is his versatility. And this game right here, the College Football National Championship of 2019, Clemson did lose this game to LSU. Joe Burrow is a beast, threw over 60 touchdowns this season, but this is a nice compilation of Isaiah Simmons' versatility in this game. You're going to see he makes plays from multiple different positions, and here you're going to see him make a play in man coverage against Thaddeus Moss, the tight end, son of Randy Moss. See, he closes right on that route, breaks the pass up instantly. Amazing closeout speed on that. Broke as soon as the ball was thrown. So now on this next play, you've got Isaiah Simmons kind of playing off the edge here, and he's going to make another play from another position. This time he's going to get a tackle in the backfield. Comes off unblocked, but wraps up securely, makes that tackle on the 1 yard line. Just showing that, he can play every position on the defense, and he can do it all efficiently. You can move him around. That's what's going to be so key for the NFL team that drafts him, is if they have the creativity to move him around on the defense and let him make plays from different places, because it makes it so tough for opposing offenses. They got to find Isaiah Simmons on every play, because some plays he might be here on the edge, he might be here playing inside linebacker, he might be over here playing safety. You never know, so you've always got to keep an eye on him, because he's got that strength, that athleticism to make a play from just about anywhere. And see, he does it right here, just wraps up, makes that tackle. That running back was going nowhere. So this next play, you're going to see once again, Isaiah Simmons is lined up in a new position. This time he's at outside cornerback, and he's going to make another play in coverage, which is unbelievable. They take their linebacker, they split him out wide, and he makes a play. He sees that ball thrown, breaks down immediately, breaks it up. His closeout speed, it's unreal. That's a catchable ball, but if Simmons isn't there. Burrow does actually a pretty good job throwing it to the outside so that Simmons doesn't have a chance to pick it off, because if that was right here, Simmons might have taken that thing to the house. Could have been a different game, but you'll see Clemson's defense is in zone coverage here. They brought a blitz. He's sitting down in his zone. This guy's sitting down in his zone. Simmons is sitting in his zone, and he sees the ball coming his way, and he breaks on it, breaks up the pass on 3rd and 13, or to bring up 3rd and 13. But again, just his versatility. You can line him up out wide, put him on the edge, put him at inside linebacker, safety. We've seen him do it all, and we've seen him make plays at every position on the defense. So now you're going to see Isaiah Simmons playing inside linebacker, his NFL position. This is what he's going to be playing, inside linebacker most likely. And you're going to see, once again, Clemson sitting in zone coverage. LSU does a good job of getting this ball underneath the Thaddeus Moss, but as soon as he gets there, Simmons just takes his leg out from underneath him and wraps him up, gets a secure tackle from that inside linebacker position. So once again, that's a really nice defensive play by Clemson. 2 linebackers, leave one to play zone coverage, and then blitz the other one. Almost got there, but LSU had a good play set up for this, and they were able to complete this pass at Thaddeus Moss. But Simmons saw it. He just saw it a little late. Gets there, makes a play. Could have been a first down if he wasn't there. So again, Isaiah Simmons is right here. He's playing outside cornerback on the tight end, Thaddeus Moss, once again. He was shadowing him most of the game, as he should, since he's a linebacker. And his job is primarily to shut down all tight ends, especially when they're as versatile as Thaddeus Moss is. And you're going to see he's in man coverage again. They run a nice route concept to try and get him open underneath here. And you can see he's got a lot of space. Simmons is giving him at least 3 yards here. But once again, that closeout speed, there's no chance. Simmons' length, his athleticism, he gets there, he breaks that pass up. He was blanketing Thaddeus Moss for the majority of this game. So once again, they've got Isaiah Simmons lined up on the edge, and he's going to blitz on this play and get a sack. So you're going to see he comes off the edge. He's got the patience, checks him for a second. He does come unblocked, but bends around the edge. At the end here, you can see the left tackle's about to get him, but he has some good bend. Gets to Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow can get the ball off. So again, in this game, we've seen him play inside linebacker. We've seen him play outside cornerback. We've seen him play We've seen him play edge rusher and probably see him play some slot and maybe some safety later on. One thing that's worth noting, though, is that Clemson does have an outstanding defensive scheme. They have some of the best coaches in all of football coaching up this Clemson defense. And, this was a great play that they dialed up. They brought the house, and the blitz was there. I mean, Simmons didn't really have to do too much. He gets a sack coming off of the edge, but, there's at least 3 people about to penetrate on Joe Burrow. He does a good job stepping up in the pocket to get away from the first defender, but Simmons, he's got a man on his back right there. He's able to wrap up Joe Burrow regardless. So it's still a great play, even though, it was an amazing blitz and they had a few people come through. But Simmons did get around the edge, got that left tackle off of him, and got to Joe Burrow before anyone else could. So here's this next play. It looks like Clemson's in their dime defense. Once again, I'm not an expert, but I believe this is dime. And you've got Simmons right here. He's playing almost safety, almost linebacker, kind of both here, but you're going to see they hand it off. Finds the hole that the running back is going to get through. Had no chance of breaking away from Isaiah Simmons there. It's a strong tackle. So I'm going to pull up another play from another game. This is against Duke again. Daniel Jones, our boy. And you're going to see Duke is going to run a nice slot fade. They're going to have the outside wide receiver run just a quick hitch, and they're going to have this slot receiver run a fade. And Simmons is playing slot cornerback here in man coverage. And you're going to see he's able to stick with him. He should have had an interception here, but he just wasn't ready for it. It wasn't the best throw by Daniel Jones here, but, he's about to get whacked right there. Clemson brought a blitz. He did get whacked. And he lays it up there with Simmons. He's outrunning the receiver at this point. There's no chance. Even if that ball is placed more outside, Simmons' height, his length, he's going to get there. And just him making a play from another position. I wanted to get at least one from each position that we've seen him play. And I had a few from inside linebacker, a few from safety, from outside cornerback. So I had to make sure that I got one from slot cornerback here too. So another play, this one, once again against Texas A&M, it's 3rd and 18. We know that this game came down to almost the very last play. It was down to the wire. And you're going to see, obviously 3rd and 18, defense is going to be backed off. So he's playing slot cornerback, but he's backed way off of the slot receiver. And, you're going to see how far they let Simmons travel here. And it looks like the receiver almost makes that play, but Simmons breaks it up to bring up 4th and 18. It's an outstanding play. He's able to make plays 20 yards off of the line of scrimmage and coverage. Able to travel receivers 20 yards, stick with them, and close out on the ball and make a play. And that's one thing that we've definitely seen on this film, that Simmons, once that ball is thrown, he's able to get on the ball. Like he closes out really fast and breaks up a lot of passes because his reaction time is just wicked fast, and he's able to close out immediately, break up that pass. So I don't think we've broken down anything from this game yet, but this is Clemson's 2019 matchup against South Carolina. They've got Simmons playing linebacker again, and he's going to come on a blitz here around the edge, and just look at the move that he puts on that left tackle. The bend around the edge literally looked like something Nick Bosa would do. He gets so low, like he's running underneath the tabletop. And, the tackle basically shoves him to the ground, but he keeps his balance. I don't know how he kept his balance there. It was actually incredible. He's basically crouched to the ground like a duck and then turns around, gets up the field, and gets on that quarterback's back and brings him down. Quarterback thought he was safe because the left tackle did a pretty decent job there, all things considered. If that's anybody else, that player's probably shoved to the ground, and then the left tackle is getting on top of him. But Simmons bends and gets really, really low and then bounces right back up and attacks the quarterback. So, once again, Clemson's amazing defensive scheme. So they definitely confused the offensive line here at least a little bit. The running back didn't know which way to go. Probably should have helped on Isaiah Simmons since it is Isaiah Simmons, but he backs off and tries to get the other guy instead. But Simmons, here's another angle. We can take a look at him coming around the edge. Left tackle gets a good shove on him twice, but keeps his balance, gets on that quarterback. All right, here's another super impressive play from Isaiah Simmons playing safety here against Virginia. And you're going to see he's 10 yards off of the line of scrimmage before the play starts. And and you're going to see Virginia's going to run a nice shallow crosser. Simmons saw it instantly. You're going to see, watch him the whole way. He sees that pass coming a mile away, crashes down, only a 1-yard gain. If he doesn't make this tackle, I mean, this guy has a lot of room to run here. I mean, it's likely a first down, but Simmons from 10 yards off sees it right away, breaks down. Like I said earlier, he's got outstanding reaction time. As soon as the ball is thrown, he sees where it's going. He crashes down immediately and closes on the football, and that's a perfect prime example of it on that play. So yeah, I know we already broke down this play in coverage when we're talking about his coverage ability, and now we're talking about his versatility, but it's worth showing again since we're talking about the versatility. He was lined up at deep safety in the middle of the field here, and it's just another testament to how Isaiah Simmons is truly a positionless player. He can line up anywhere on the defense, whether it's 30 yards off the line of scrimmage and 25 yards away from the sideline. He can get to the sideline in a second and make a play there. He can play safety, he can play edge, he can play linebacker. I've shown it all, slot cornerback, outside cornerback. The guy, I mean, he can really change a defense, whoever ends up drafting him, and hopefully it's the Giants at number 4. I can't complain at all if that happens. He's the type of player that's just going to change your team. And here's one more clip just to discuss Isaiah Simmons' athleticism. I mentioned it earlier that he ran a 4.39 second 40-yard dash, and I'm sure all of you have seen it by now, but if you haven't, here it is. Yeah, that's a linebacker who weighs 238 pounds and 6'3" something. Dude was zooming. I mean, second fastest time ever recorded by a linebacker. By far the fastest time by a linebacker at the 2020 Scouting Combine. So you can see the guy is a freak athlete. That's why he's able to play all over the defense like that. So yeah, now I've shown you guys who Isaiah Simmons is, and I showed you his elite versatility, athleticism, and of course his ability to make amazing plays in coverage, as well as a lot of great tackles that he made as a linebacker, as edge rusher, and from the safety position too. The kid has outstanding play recognition, great tackling abilities, very consistent as a tackler, and he's got the athleticism and speed to make tons of plays in man coverage. But no prospect is perfect. As I pointed out, he's got a lot of work to do in zone coverage, and also you will notice at times, if you keep watching his game tape, there are times where he does get shoved off by a tight end here and there, and that's something that a lot of NFL teams are going to be looking at, because he is really like a skinny, tall safety. He looks like a ginormous safety playing linebacker, which is basically, it is what he is. He's a linebacker. He's a linebacker size. He's heavier than Roquan Smith, and Roquan Smith has done a great job as a linebacker so far with the Bears. And yeah, basically that's just something that you're going to hear a lot about. Is Isaiah Simmons a safety or is he a linebacker? The dude is a linebacker. We've seen it. Any flaws that you're going to find in his game, they're not going to be huge overarching flaws. They're just going to be a few mistakes that he makes here and there. Like you can see sometimes he does get pushed off by tight ends, but I mean, so does everybody, Simmons really just runs people over more often than not and makes more plays in coverage than I've ever seen a linebacker make. So just let me know in the comment section, guys. Who do you want me to break down next? Isaiah Simmons, I think he's possibly the pick for us at number 4. I've heard a good bit of chatter that the Giants are interested. I know that they're interested in Derek Brown too, so if you want me to break him down, let me know. I know they're interested in the offensive tackles. I can get over Becton, Wirfs, Jedrick Wills, Andrew Thomas. Just let me know in the comment section who you want me to break down next, and hope you enjoyed this video. Plenty more to come, and I'll see you in the next one.